Alright, so today it's Foundation Friday and we are reviewing another new foundation launch, the Anastasia Luminous Foundation. So this has been very hyped up. I'm not going to blind you with the box. Let's just hold this guy. This, along with the new Fenty Hydrating Foundation, which will be coming, has been kind of like the two most hyped up launches I feel like lately. So I'm very curious. I was not a fan of the Anastasia Stick Foundation at all, so we'll see if this guy's any better. But if you are new here, Foundation Fridays are every single week, 6 p.m. Pacific time. I have a whole Foundation Friday playlist linked down below in the description box where there's hundreds of other foundation reviews. The last few weeks have all been new launches, and the next few weeks will also be new launches, so everything is coming. So this foundation retails for $38. You get 1.01 ounces of product, and it comes in 50 shades. So I got the shade 140N, which said fair skin with a neutral peach undertone, and I've heard from some other people that the undertones on here are totally off. I would say this one has a neutral peach undertone, however, I could have definitely gone a couple shades lighter, which you guys will see when I start applying it, but just a heads up, if you're around my skin tone, I would definitely not choose the shade 140N, but we'll do swatches too so you can see how that shade compares. On Sephora, it has a one sentence description, so it just says a water resistant liquid foundation that creates a luminous natural finish, is long wearing even without a setting powder. Oh wait, here's some more. It says it blurs any imperfections without caking or masking the skin's natural radiance. Easy to blend formula, goes on seamlessly, free of flashbacks or oxidation. So I'm going to start swatches here so we can see how the shade 140N compares to some other foundations and kind of my go-to shades. So swatch time, I have a little bit of sunshine happening right now, so these are directly in front of the window in the sun. Here's the Anastasia foundation in the shade 140. Next over is the Urban Decay new Naked foundation that I reviewed a couple weeks ago. This is in the shade 20NN. I'm going to start including this one in swatches because this is basically like a perfect shade match for me. CYO Life Proof in 101. Also great shade match. Both these look totally different, but when they're on my face, they both work pretty well, even though they obviously look totally different on here. I'm not sure if it's already up or if it's going to be coming because I might be uploading this video first, but I have the Smashbox new full coverage foundation review coming. In that video, it was too dark, so I ordered a second shade, so I wanted to show you what that shade was. It's 0.3. And the last swatch right here is L'Oreal Fresh Wear in the shade 410. So if you're excited for Foundation Friday this week and you enjoy while you're watching, you can give it a thumbs up. I appreciate it. If you're new here, I upload every Monday, Wednesday, Friday at 6 p.m. Pacific time. Okay, so it is 7:44 in the morning. Started talking without turning on the camera, so good start. Okay, so I've scrubbed off as much self-tanner as I can right now. I might have the tiniest bit. It might be like half a shade darker than my normal skin tone right now. So just a pretty standard glass bottle with a pump. All right, let's party, let's go in. So I'm gonna take a brush on half my face, then we'll do a sponge on the other half. See if there's any difference in application. Spreads pretty easily, like a little bit goes a long way. Feels kind of cooling going on my face. Feels good. So the shade I think would be a little bit dark if I didn't have any kind of leftover tanner on right now, but it's looking like it's matching pretty well. It might still be slightly dark actually. Is it oxidizing? I feel like it's darkening right now. We'll see when I go to put it on the other side, but oh yeah, this is definitely oxidizing. It's not showing up on camera, I feel like. Yeah, I definitely could have gone a couple shades light. It's looking pretty with the brush. It just looks like what it says, the Luminous Medium Coverage Foundation. Doesn't seem to be clinging anywhere. It looks like skin. Right now it's looking nice. Let's do the sponge on the other side. Okay, the sponge just soaked up like a ton of product. So I'm going to pump some more out. This went really far with a brush, like I only needed a tiny bit, but seems like since this one is kind of more on the thin side, a little bit more gets soaked up with the sponge. It definitely oxidizes. You can see the difference between this side and then this side, which has been on longer. It's not showing up as bad on camera. It definitely looks like more orangey, but it oxidizes pretty fast, like within the first 30 seconds of putting it on. So I'm not sure if that happens with all shades, but you might want to go like a shade down considering it darkens right away. I'm smoothing over my forehead with the sponge. I don't smell any kind of scent. Whoa, just like dipped my nose in. No, I don't smell scent. Thank you for not putting a ton of artificial fragrance in there. Sponge side, I look like I got slightly less coverage, but it looks about the same finish wise. I think I like this one better with a brush just because it ate up a lot less product. It looks about the same, if not better, and I got a little bit better coverage. So I'm just gonna go back in with the brush to see if we can build it up on my scarring right here. I would say it's medium coverage on that first layer. Ooh, it does look like it builds nicely though. It feels very thin and just like comfortable. Doesn't dry down fast, so you have a lot of time to work with this one. Okay, I like this one with a brush, but then smoothed over with a sponge. That's looking really good now. I love that built up. I think if I had the right shade right now, I would be like loving this. Looks like it's starting to crease a tiny bit right here around my mouth, but we'll just watch that. I can feel it when I touch my face, so it doesn't like totally set down. Wow, I'm looking orange. I swear this is still oxidizing. It almost has the feel of the, what am I thinking of? The Maybelline Fit Me, the original one, not the matte and poreless. The original Maybelline Fit Me has this like slippery, velvety, luminous kind of feel to it. That's how this one feels to the touch. It feels soft and lightweight, but it does feel like you need to set it or else it's going to kind of like slip around. So right now it is 7:52. I'm going to do the rest of my makeup and then we'll be back to do a flash test and we'll see what this looks like in natural lighting. Guys, I'm very conflicted on the background things. It's now 8:23, but the check-in time is 8 o'clock since that's when I finished up with my makeup. So I did have to set my face. It's definitely one that you have to set. I didn't set right here because I never do, and in my like drier areas, but I did set kind of like the perimeter of my face, and I definitely think you need to do that with this one. It looks really pretty, but it almost looks exactly like the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth, which is a heck of a lot cheaper. I am starting to get some creasing around my mouth area, and the colors on my face definitely look off because I have like highlighted under eyes and then it's kind of like darker right here and darker around my lip area. So ignoring that, the foundation itself looks really nice. So the makeup on the rest of my face, huge congrats, Jackie. Huge congrats to Jackie Aina on the Anastasia palette. This is what I'm wearing on my eyes right now. And then I just went in with a black liner and kind of like smoked it out. I've been really liking doing that instead of doing like a full-on wing. For blush, I went in with the Run Wild palette by BH Cosmetics. I haven't used the eyeshadows or anything in here, but I just dipped into this blush shade, which was really pretty. I'm running out of breath. It was super pigmented. Daydream is the shade. And then this new highlight is so beautiful if you're looking for an intense highlight, but that doesn't look like chalky or too textured. The Milk Makeup Lit Flex Highlight. So here's what it looks like. We'll see how it looks in natural lighting too, but this is like my third time wearing this, I want to say. It is gorgeous. You have to use a light hand because it can get real intense real fast, but it's also super pretty as eyeshadow. And then I use the L'Oreal Bronze Please in the shade Latera. This one, if you use a light hand, is pretty, but I have to be careful or else it can look like too orangey. And then for lips, I use the Velvet, oh my god, what are words today? The Velvet Matte Lip Pencil by NARS in the shade Good Times, and then I just topped it off with some CoverGirl Dolce de Leche. This is just one that I used to like lighten it. I think that's everything for my makeup, right? Mascara is my go-to combo lately, these two. So let's head into natural lighting so we can see what this looks like, and we'll do a flash test. Alright, so we're in natural lighting, and the shade actually looks a bit better in natural lighting. It does look way too peach of an undertone. Okay, shade-wise, this is kind of closer, so it definitely still looks dark. And when I was reading the claims just for the intro when I was filming that, it does say specifically that it's not supposed to oxidize, and it definitely oxidized right off the bat. So just a heads up on that. And like usual, when I hold the camera from here, you can't even tell. So trust me, in person, that's how it looks. But looking at it in natural lighting, it looks really pretty. It looks just luminous and healthy. It doesn't look too heavy or anything. Only thing is the same thing I noticed in the other lighting. It's just starting to crease already around my mouth area. And my forehead looks pretty dewy. I don't mind this level of dew, but if you don't, you might need to, you know, do some setting and things on your forehead. So far so good, so let's do a flash test. I definitely look tan in here, but there doesn't seem to be a flashback. I do look a little bit shiny like on my forehead. But yeah, so far I think it looks really good, so hopefully this one holds up well throughout the day. We will see. See you guys in a few hours back in natural lighting. Okay, so it is now 2:30, so it's been on for actually, how long? 6.5 hours. So this is the first time I'm looking at my face. I swear it's darkened even more. I don't know. Okay, there we go. For some reason when I'm only close up, the color and everything like shows. It overall just looks like dewy and pretty good. It looks a little bit creasy on my upper lip and around my mouth, and a little bit almost like oily looking on my forehead. I don't mind the level of dew right now on my forehead, but if it gets like glowier by the end of the night, then I think that's gonna be a little bit much. Over here it looks pretty nice and just like soft, but then around here and around my mouth and upper lip there is some creasing, so maybe like a primer would help out with that. It seems like in the places that I set my face, it's still looking really nice, but then down here, my forehead actually between my eyebrows doesn't look bad. It doesn't look like it's like breaking down yet. Down here, I think maybe I could have like benefited from some powder actually, because it seems to be looking a lot better on the rest of my face. We will see how it goes in a few more hours, but I'll see you guys at the end of the night. Okay, so it is now the end of the night. It is 5:46. Not the end of the night, but end of this video. So it's been on for about 10 hours and it definitely has gone a bit downhill. So in the last few hours, it almost just looks really like cakey and textured now. I'm trying to get it to show up how I see it. And the creasing has definitely gotten worse. Like, whoa, what is that? It looks pretty cakey and almost like separating in certain areas too. My forehead at this point I think looks just a little oily, and around my pore area right here. And I did bring like the powder right there, so you know, I can't even imagine what this would look like if you had oily skin. It doesn't look like I powdered my face at all, but I actually put on more powder than I normally do today. I just walked in the other room too before I started this check-in just to see what it looked like, and I can just see it on my skin. Like, it definitely looks like a not great foundation at this point, because this reminded me when I first put on almost exactly of the Maybelline Fit Me Dewy and Smooth, and that one does hold up pretty well throughout the day if you set it. I think I would just recommend that over this foundation. There are other amazing dewy foundations. Check out the CYO versus Soap & Glory Kick-Ass foundation video I did. If you want something really luminous and beautiful and dewy, there are ones at the drugstore that just hold up way better. But I hope you guys enjoyed this Foundation Friday and found it helpful. I'm about to go eat some Mexican food. But I love you guys. Thanks for watching. See you in my next video.